Thank you for joining me from MINDDRIVE. Your organization is amazing. You're gonna take us around your shop and show us a tour. Let's see everything. I want to see everything, all the things.
For sure. So what you see behind me is our students and mentors in our program. That's our safety wall. So that's all the students and mentors and their safety glasses and gloves, and that's where they first check in when they get here to get their safety gear. Now I'm going to spin around. This is Lola. This is a 2000 Indy race car that's been converted into a super efficient electric vehicle. About 10 years ago. Now it just sits in the shop and collect dust. But about 10 years ago, it tested a 445 miles per gallon equivalent. It went about 40 miles an hour. It was not a practical car. It was really just an exercise in design and efficiency. We were trying to make a car go as long as possible, not as fast as possible. So behind that is a solar car we were actually given by the Kansas City Auto Museum that was built by Iowa State back in 2008. So that just happened to be in the Kansas City Auto Museum collection, and they didn't have really room for it and didn't really want it and knew about us and asked us if we wanted it. And right now we're housing it, not really sure what we're going to do with it. We have a green screen, so when we need to take some photography, we can do that. Now I'm coming up on a 65 Chevy Corvair Corsa convertible. This car has Tesla batteries. It has two HP EVS 50 AC electric motors, Curtis controllers. It's in the wiring phase. We're pushing two electric motors using a Harley-Davidson primary drive belt system into a 2-speed power glide. And then this car will have a working heater, radio, all the stuff you would expect to find on a restored 65 Corvair.
That is beautiful. I love it.
This is a 72 Volkswagen Karmann Ghia. So this is the car that went down the Pacific Coast Highway in 2014 and went to Tesla and Google and Twitter and Stanford's autonomous car program.
You guys had to have listened to the Smash Mouth song while you were doing that, right? Pacific Coast Highway.
No, we didn't, but we probably should have.
I had that on hit clips, man.
Nice. So this is 96 volts, CALBs, 3.2 volts, 30 3.2 volt packs, 70 horsepower advanced it's a brushed DC motor, of what you can see, but I think on the right on the screen is the charger, and then the 12-volt charger, and then the Soliton Junior controller.
Okay. Yeah.
So in this car, we chose to put the batteries where the back seat would be, just so we could show off the fact that it was electric.
Those look like CALB cells to me.
Yes, those are CALBs, 3.2 volt, and I think those are 160 amp hours.
Okay.
And then we've got our Electrathon cars. This is one of them. This is 816, the Aztec. Looks like a silver bullet, like a Coors can.
Yeah.
All frame. ME 909, brushed, 24 volt system, standard battery class. And I will tell you that the students who built this car were their first priority was looks. Their second priority was performance.
It looks so much like an energy drink up at the front. You should definitely get that as a sponsorship opportunity. Just put like the Monster logo right there.
Yeah. And this is a very similar design to 816, but this was going to be 999 bone death before the pandemic struck. And this car is almost entirely has had very little input from staff. This is almost 100% student design, built, bent tubing, welded. It's chromoly 4130. We'll have the same motor as 816. the ME 909. And then next to it is a car that was built originally by a team of all girls. This is one of the first three-wheel Electrathon cars that we did. And we didn't know what we were doing. It's steel dom tubing, so it may not look like it, but it's the heaviest car we have. It's 240 pounds, but it's been the most successful. It has a second and a third place under its belt. And then, so what we were doing this year was we were adding a solar panel so that it could compete in solar class in our
What?
league.
Whoa,
Because
so cool.
what we realized last year was it was still doing great. Like, one of the racetracks we went 98 laps, and the year before that would have been enough to win first place. But that last year, the team that won, we didn't even get top three. And every track we took it to, we realized if we had a solar panel on it, we would have placed. So it's moving to solar class. And then this monstrosity back here is called the Honey Badger. It's a nod to Tyrann Mathieu, the safety for the Kansas City Chiefs. And it is the middle portion of that steel tube frame started out life as a four-wheel Electrathon car that would only go for about 20 minutes. We mistakenly thought early on that we needed to make a car that our big kids could drive, not
Mm.
realizing that if you have to bow out of the race in 20 minutes, that doesn't make you feel very good. So we hung it on the wall as just like a sculpture for several years. And this year we have accumulated parts over the years, and we bought the suspension off of a Polaris 900, and it's going to be a four-wheel electric street buggy.
What is the
Expanded
best
metal accents.
what is the best framing material for one of these Electrathon vehicles?
Ooh, well, I guess that depends on your goal, right? I mean, I think the best would be pressed carbon fiber if you could vacuum press it. But for us, it's aluminum tube frame because that's what we had the most capabilities. But we're getting into, just real quick before we get to that, I'll show you the 67 hanging from the ceiling. Because when you run out of space, you just hang it from the ceiling.
Yes,
And
of course.
that is the car that went to DC. And we are redoing it. We're going to put 3 electric motors, beefed up gearbox, suspension, brakes, and then we're going to put twice. We're going to put 60 calves in that car. So it's going to have about 600 pounds batteries.
And do you guys you guys use calbs because it's cheaper? Do you guys get them cheaper than lithium ion? Have you guys thought about putting?
Well, I don't know if you can see back there on the back wall, but there's a whole bunch of calves, right? So
Oh yeah.
we just have a bunch.
The green boxes
Yeah.
in on the back shelves, and the yellow ones next to them, those are calbs as well.
Yeah. Well, the yellow one I think is a Charger, but in that other, like these down here on the floor are the Electrathon batteries, the yellow top Optimus.
Yeah, those are Optim. Yeah, do you guys do AGM at all?
That's what that is.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't show you 717 because it is out at getting prepped. We're doing a graduation tour for our 2020 grads at the World War I Museum, and it's getting ready to be in that parade. So it is not here. But
That is
this
so cool.
car on the table is polystyrene foam cut. The students designed it in Fusion 360. We cut all the shapes, penned and glued it together, and then they were in the process of wrapping it in carbon fiber when the pandemic started. So also,
oh my gosh, that sucks.
yeah, 3-wheel Electrathon car, and then this one 610 called 10 caliber was the first time that we took a bunch of polystyrene. And this one we did differently, as you can tell. We still designed it in Fusion 360, but we took the slicer tool and sliced it, and then took a bunch of sheets. You can see them all up there on the shelf. to the fab lab at our community college and used the router to cut them all out, stack them together, and then laid carbon fiber about every 3 or 4 layers.
Hmm.
So if anybody ever had to do that experiment in science class where you build a box for an egg and drop it,
Yes.
um, this is what you would do if you were doing that on a human. With
Okay.
all that carbon fiber laid in horizontally and then on the outside, yeah, you could roll this thing down the Grand Canyon.
How much in your average electrothon vehicle, how much is the expense?
4,000 is what we budget for each Electrothon car. We actually usually come in under that, but for a new build, we budget 4,000.
4,000. Okay. And oh, that's doable. That's very doable.
Yeah, and
You
if
have
you
a
get lucky, if you can find a good deal, I mean, that's why I like the 909. It's really reasonably priced. I feel like volt, RPMs per volt, it's hard to beat when you're just competing in standard battery class. Um, this is a car you can see what it normally would look like when it's got a skin on it. But we had taken the canopy off. We were redoing the outside of it's just aluminum tube frame, and that one used a brushed PM132, which are really hard to get. They don't make them anymore.
And do you guys ever race nationally in Electrothon America, or you stick to the Kansas circuit?
We have not gotten the opportunity to go to any other events. We really want to. That is definitely a goal, and hopefully one we can do next year. We got to find the right venue. Got to find the right events. But yeah, we would love to go to a. Right now um, we're trying to win Kansas Electro Rally. We don't feel like we haven't accomplished that yet. So
Well, maybe it's because it's just such a big circuit. Maybe if you did some of the smaller circuits, you'd get a lot more trophies and then come back.
yeah. I mean, I don't know that I know all of the different options. So that could be very. And then in here is our robotics classroom, digital design lab. We got all of our stuff on the table because we don't have students right now. So stuff's just out everywhere. But our FPV goggles, the drones that students build and race, three
So those
inch, 5 inch.
and we should mention on the video that you guys also do drone racing and battle bots. So you guys do quadcopter drones. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, if you've ever seen the Drone Racing League on ESPN,
Yeah,
um,
I've seen bits and pieces of it. Yeah.
this is a 6S 5 inch FPV racing quad.
Oh, nice bottle of Lubriderm there. You got to keep your hands all lotioned up.
So you would wear a pair of goggles like this. Actually, these are for our micro quads that we fly inside that look like this.
Oh, that's
So we
cute.
do inside racing. That's a 75 millimeter micro quad. And then we have other goggles that we use for the 5 inch racing drones. And then we got the radio controllers. That's what these look like. Yeah, so that's the nickel tour.
Well, that's so cool, man. I really appreciate you showing me around the shop. This is such a delight.
And then I mentioned we have a welding and metal fabrication program as well. And so our students, everything we do is project based. This is some of the junk art. When they
I
learn how
love
to
that.
weld, we have a bunch of different challenges. Like this one, they made spiders, and we took all the spiders and made a spider web tree. They took spoons and made flowers, insects out of things, and then at the end of the year, they can kind of design their own sculpture. And um, some of the nicer ones sell. So these are the ones that didn't sell, or they're too big. People don't want to buy something they can't carry home. So,
That is so cool.
and this is what happens when you teach a young lady how to weld. You get some color.
That is so cool. And that You mentioned the young lady that Electrathon vehicle, the all-female one. Is that that sounds like it has to be a first to me, an all-female Electrathon vehicle.
Oh, I would doubt it, but it was, it's definitely a first for us. And then we have our student leadership council. We call them the Black Jackets. The young lady, the president, Sierra Randolph, she drives that car 414, and she's the one that welded those flowers.
Oh,
So
you saw my tweet to you guys. Black jacket is like black belt because you kick ass.
no, it's so we have a bunch of green bland, just green welding jackets that you buy and you get in bulk, right? And so I got my own, and it happened to be black. And so I decided to get black jackets for some of the students who were doing what they were asked to do, and then it became a thing, right? It became a competition. If I got a
Hmm.
black jacket, then that means I have earned it. And so when we established our leadership team of students, um, if we're going to do something, we want to do it right, and so they get their own special gear, and it's known that they have earned that status. So the black
I thought
jackets take their designation very seriously.
I thought it might have been based off of that. In airborne school for the Army, the black hats are the airborne drill instructors. They're the guys who tell people to jump out of the plane or push them out.
Yeah, I never really thought about it. You're probably right, and I probably had that thought as far as black belt goes. To be honest, though, what I was thinking of, and I don't know that this will resonate on the West Coast, but the University of Nebraska has a very popular football team, or
Hmm.
used to. They haven't been very successful recently, and their team is known as their defense is known as the Black Shirts, because in training camp they have to earn the right to wear the black jersey, and the coaches don't allow the defensive unit to wear black jerseys until they feel they've earned it. And I hate to admit it, but in the back of my mind, that's what I was. And I don't even like Nebraska.
I got
I
a
just
lot
am
of
a sports nut, and I remember that story.
I
Those
got a lot
those are the Green Jackets.
I got a lot of family out there. Um, I'm an O'Connor. I got a lot of family in Omaha.
Here's some of the other sculptures.
Do they all have names, those sculptures?
I'm sure they do. Those were golfers.
Oh,
They had to make a golf pose, and then there's some back here where they had to make yoga poses, and you can kind of tell um, they were making yoga poses because we think yoga moms would buy. So we have a what's called Art Garage at the end of the year, which would have been June 5th. In our arts district in the center of our town, they open up all the galleries. It's called First Fridays. Right, the first Friday of the month, the galleries open up and people walk around, they buy stuff, and it's a community event. And so we take our students down there, and they show off what they've made, and most of the time, all the good stuff sells. So, and that students get to keep all that, right? So, um, we they thought yoga poses would sell. And then I'll show you this one only because if you look close at this sculpture, you'll notice that the coffin is an old Electrothon frame. So
oh
the student,
wow.
yeah, the
Okay,
student
yeah.
who made that drove that car, and when we decommissioned that car, he got to take it and he turned it into a coffin.
R.I.P. I see it right there. Yeah, that's so cool.
So that's that. That's the tour.
Well, thank you very much for showing me around. That was such a delight. It was great to meet you. Um, what are your social media accounts? Where can people follow you and find you?
MindDrive.org on all platforms. We're even on TikTok. So if you go
So,
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, MindDrive.org, all one word. You can find us.
and it's MINDDRIVE org.
Yes.
So two D's in the middle. If you
Yeah.
spell it with the one D, then you won't get anywhere.
You won't find
Okay.
it.
Okay, and then minddrive.org for the website as well.
Correct.
And you guys have a brilliant series on your Twitter and your YouTube right now, and the Instagram. It's stories of the students in the program and how to survive during COVID and what everyone's doing right now. I hope you guys continue this series well after the coronavirus lockdown. I hope you guys continue that series. It's great. It's a great thing. It's really lovely.
Really appreciate it. And what we realized, is when this whole crisis started, and you look for information about the crisis, you're going to get pretty much the same talking. You're going to get the same information from sort of the same sources. And all we really wanted to do was give our students and mentors and some parents a voice and let them share what they've been experiencing, whatever that may be. I mean, some people were great. Some people had family who had been infected. Some people had family who lost their jobs. Some found out about a scholarship. So the whole point was just to give them a voice. And the other thing that we had to do, because we can't build cars right now, we can't be in the same room, is we launched a Minecraft server. And so we've migrated almost all of our students and mentors into our own Minecraft server. We partnered with shockbite.com. And then we've realized that Minecraft can be a real tool to continue what we do, project-based learning, experiential project-based learning in that virtual realm.
You can actually manipulate and create objects in virtual reality. That is so brilliant.
Yeah, Minecraft's more than a game, right? It's really a creative platform, and it really is conducive to what we want to do. And it took some trial and error, and we were fortunate to hook up with Shockbite to get some help, but it's kind of took off on its own. And we've gotten new students who just found out that we were doing Minecraft. So we're not teaching Minecraft. It's more of like a club.
Who are the sponsors that you want to throw out right now, if you have any that you want to say, or any plugs that you want to go for? You say that you guys are taking one of the vehicles to the World War One parade. Is there anything else you want to plug?
The graduation parade on June 5th, we will do our virtual art garage and live stream events. That will include a Driven Mind award, an award show from inside the game Minecraft will be broadcast, in addition to some live shots that we'll do where we'll feature a lot of our students' artwork. And we might even include a drone race. So it's a precursor to another event we're going to do later in the summer that will include a simulation drone race on a simulator, and a Minecraft component. And then also on June 5th, our digital design students will premiere their latest film. So we have students who write, direct, produce, and cut their own short film, and so they will debut that on June 5th. So June 5th, 7:30, all platforms: Facebook, Instagram Live, YouTube Live, Twitch. Whatever your preference, it'll be there.
June 5th, 7:30, MINDDRIVE.org. That's awesome. Oh, that's 7:30 Kansas City time, right?
Yeah, Central time. 7:30 Central.
Okay, 7:30 Central. That's awesome. Thanks so much for joining me. This was the Central EV, or Central Washington University Electric Vehicle Club. This is a teaser. If you want to hear the more in-depth conversation, everyone check out our podcast at centralev.org/podcast. It's called Pterodactyl. And there we delve into all of the concepts and motivations behind MINDDRIVE, how it started, its inception, and the story of its growth. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Drive on, young people. Drive on.